Welcome! I always wanted to redesign my logo. In other words, make those gears rotate. So I spent some time experimenting with CSS animations, and let's take a look at how I did this all with CSS. Okay, we'll be using CodePen to check out how we built these gears. And real quick, most information I got is by looking at other animations on CodePen, Moselle, developer documents, and CSS tricks. So first we're going to set up our container. Our main container, we call it gears. Okay, gears. Let's close it. So this is our main container. Then within this container, we're going to have another div, which we'll call GearSet. GearSet. If I can spell and type at the same time. Now within this div class, we're going to have three sets of divs, each for the three gears. So there'll be three sets. And I'm going to just paste it in because I don't want to spend time typing it in. There we go. So we have, that's one gear. As you can see, another gear, and gear number 3. So that's our HTML that we'll be using. Now let's set up our CSS. Let's start writing our CSS. First, let's set the preview screen here at the bottom where it's white. Let's change the background color to a real dark gray, which is the background color of my website where the gears will be used. Let's align the gears to be in the center. Okay, here's our first div class, the main container gears. Height 200 pixels. Width 200 pixels. Be a perfect square. Display your typical syntax inline block. Overflow hidden. This is in case a device spills over or is smaller than the image, then it won't, no scroll bars or no clipping will happen to your logo here. And the background of this gears is the same, 3838 dark gray. Well, let me show you something. Let me change the preview screen back to white. And there you can see the gears where the logo will be 200 pixels by 200 pixels, centered, because it originally matched the background, so you couldn't see it, but we'll leave it open so you can see the gear container. So let's continue writing more CSS. So let's write the CSS for the GearSet class. Height 100%. Width also 100%. Position is relative. Transform would be translate Z. Z is in a three-dimensional mode, moves the element closer or further from you. In our case, it will be 0. Next is backface visibility. Says whether the back face of an element is visible when turned towards the user. In this case, we use hidden. Next is transform origin. This is the point where a transformation is applied, or the origin of the rotation. In this case, it will be 0, 0, which stands for the X and Y axis. Now let's set the element, the layout for the GearSet div. Next is the GearSet div. We're going to use an element called box sizing. And the value would be content box. It is often used. We use this syntax to lay out elements. It makes dealing with the sizes of the elements easier, which hopefully will eliminate issues as we continue to set our rest of our code. Now next I'm going to cut and paste the syntax because it's a lot of information. I don't want to do all the typing because I'll probably, to eliminate mistakes. Transform origin, which I explained earlier. Infinite rotation and linear means no acceleration or speed difference. So it'll be set at 1.25 seconds. Animation delay is a negative value, which means animation begins immediately but starts 0.74 seconds into the animation sequence. If that makes any sense to you. Now I pasted the background color for the 3 gears, blue, purple, and orange. Okay, now we're gonna set more of the nth child syntax next. Now as we add more of the CSS syntax, we're gonna start seeing the gears start appearing in the box here. So let me copy and paste the rest of the script for the gear set. As I said, we're going to start seeing the gears, and first we'll be building the orange gear. Now transform, translate. You can scale, rotate, or skew the elements. Translate means you can move an element up and down or side to side. The minus value moves the element to the left, and the second minus value moves an element up. Now we added the rest of the nth child scripts. You can see the orange gear has developed. Now let's add the nth child for the blue gear. Paste it in. As you can see, the blue gear in the background rotating. Now let me copy the script, the keyframes for the purple gear. And you can see it at the bottom there rotating behind the orange. Now let's resize or reset the orange gear. So we'll see all 3 gears in the perfect proportion. There we go, the orange keyframe. all 3 gears rotating. I explained the rotate and the translate earlier. Actually, I didn't explain rotate. Rotates an element around a fixed point on the 2-dimensional plane. If positive, the movement will be clockwise. So that's what we have. So this is the CSS syntax for the GearSet. And this is the HTML. What you can do is go to my CodePen account. You can see the CSS and HTML, and you can play around with it to make changes to see what happens. So I'll post it in the description below, the link to CodePen. So thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll do more CSS animation tutorials down the road.